All right, let's talk a little bit about inflation. We haven't put this word in.
Before you get to that, though, hold on. I want to mention something because I think it's important. So what you had mentioned in terms of when you are forced to hire a property manager or the IRA, you're forced to not use that money personally. So it has to go back into that account. So you can't use it until you take it out for retirement, right? And then you had also mentioned by default, what does that do? That allows you as the property owner to not work in the property manager, right? Being that property manager, or so to speak. It allows you to work not in the business per se, on your business. And I think a lot of times what the perception is, or that they just got thrown into a property that was passed down to them maybe, and then it just became a rental property, etc., is owning a real estate in general, and managing your money. It's truly a business. So instead of working in it, trying to save $2 on a faucet, you work on the business, interest rates, working with your IRA, etc., etc. And like Ron had mentioned, we can help you with all of that. So although up front there might be a little bit of legwork, yes, but you can watch all the motivational videos in the world, and what will they tell you? If you want to get somewhere and you want to create wealth and happiness, you have to work at it. You can't just sit there and wait for it or expect it to happen. So I just want to mention that. I thought that was good. Again, don't work in the business, work on the business.
Yeah, and the beauty of what Tyler's saying there, fortunately, for those of you who join us here at Management One, as you've seen in the past webinar, we have all the resources put together. So your heavy lifting is 10% of what it would be if you did it on your own. Okay, so look at that. Okay, so inflation, okay, basically, I lived through the years of inflation. Some of you on the call did as well. 1970, you got gas lines. Then, that's a long time ago. I turned 13 in 1971. So, but anyway, people have lost sight of what does inflation mean. So let me give you an example. Okay. Now you see here on the screen, you got a quarter pounder, a triple quarter pounder. A year ago, you bought it for $5.99. You still pay $5.99, but still now getting a triple quarter pounder, you get a skinny hamburger with some cheese on it. Okay. And to put it in more perspective, I put up there is gas for your car, because we're all conscious of that, right? Unless you own a Tesla, gas is hitting you hard. So 1 year ago, you got 20 gallons of gas for $60. Today, $60 only gets you 15 gallons. So the question I have for all of you, what if you needed all 20 gallons to make it to work and back? You get to work, but then you can't get all the way back home because you run out of gas. And hopefully your brother-in-law lives nearby. Maybe you spend the night with him. But my point being is it starts to put in perspective how serious this inflation is. And it is dead serious. And we've talked about in past webinars, we talked about interest rates, 17.5, prime 21.5 in 1980-82, when Jimmy Carter was president. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on the track we're at now, I hope to God it never happens, but with where we're headed, it could even surpass that. So my point of it is, how do you battle? How do you protect what you have? And how do you continue to grow if you have inflation on the horizon? And just like a lot of your cars, a lot of you that have used cars, if you think it's worth $10,000, take it somewhere. You're going to get probably $13,000 for it. It's went up 25%. When a depreciable item start to appreciate, there's a problem. Okay, and a car, as we all know, is a depreciable item. But not today. From a year ago, they're worth 25% more than what they were, just 12 months ago. So how does inflation affect the real estate market? Well, first of all, property values will increase. Here's why. Price of construction materials will be high. This leads to higher prices on new homes, driving up value of existing homes. Number one. Number two, okay, what we have here is the cost of borrowing will be higher. Interest rates are going to rise, okay? And for those of you who have not refied or whatever, you should be on the fastest track you can be on to get your properties or property refied in the next 30 to 60 days, okay? Rental rates will soar. We've already seen it, right? We're living this. This isn't something I'm projecting and you on the other end say, well, does Mr. Sudman really know what he's talking about? We're living this. This is real time, okay? What happens is when those mortgage rates, they don't have to go to 17.5. Take mortgage rates from where they are today to 7 and watch the change in this market. It will change dramatically. And what's going to happen is people are going to opt to rent instead of buy. Okay. And what is that going to do? It's going to make the value of those rents go right through the roof. Appreciation will offset the inflation at minimum. Okay, it's probably one of the best hedges against inflation, and it will also protect your net worth that you have already created. So it's protecting what you have and even building on beyond that. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, and the last thing is rental properties generate high returns. Why? Because rental properties, without a doubt, is one of the most profitable assets during inflationary times with higher rental rates and zero vacancies. What did we just say? We have right now, we have no houses for rent. Out of hundreds and hundreds of houses that we manage, we have zero houses for rent. Okay. That's never happened in the history of management one in 36 years. Okay. So what I'm sharing with you here is fact. It's definitely not fiction, but I wanted to bring it up today because it's on the news and just understand how it affects you. But real estate is going to be definitely number one in terms of protecting what you have and building on what you can actually go ahead and buy. So if you can buy a rental property or a half a rental property with a friend, a business associate, then you need to seriously consider doing it, whether it be with us or somebody. Okay. We'd love for you to do business with us, but if not, that's okay too. As long as you do it for you, that's what's important.